It was around 6 in the evening, one of those long dragging days when your brain feels like it's been wrung dry. I'd spent the whole damn day listening to people talk. Patients, coworkers, small talk that just sucked the life right out of me. All I wanted was a quiet corner to toss my phone on silent, lean back and breathe for a minute. I grabbed my phone, buzzed my secretary and said, "Hey, just letting you know I'm done for the day. No more patients, okay?" My head's about to explode. There was a pause, the kind of pause that tells you they're not sure what to say next. Then she said, "Or, doctor, there's a woman here. She really insists on seeing you. Says she just needs a few minutes." I sighed. "Tell her to come back tomorrow. I really can't today." "She's really insistent," she said. "Says she only needs to tell you one sentence." "That's it. Fine," I said. "Then have her say it over the phone. I'll answer." The secretary repeated what I said, and I could hear some whispering on the other end, a woman's voice low and shaky. Then my secretary said, "She says she has to say it in person. She's already paid the full visit fee." I didn't have the energy to argue. "All right," I muttered. "Send her in, but make it quick. I'm not feeling great." A moment later, the door opened. A woman stepped in, maybe 45, well put together, long hair neatly styled, her makeup subtle but precise. You could tell right away she was loaded, designer coat. That kind of watch that screams, "I don't check the price tag," and a purse that probably cost half my monthly income. She walked and said hello softly, and I motioned for her to sit. She placed her purse carefully on her lap and took a deep breath. Her gaze was steady, but behind it there was something trembling, like a storm hiding behind glass. I said, "If it's okay with you, I'd like my assistant to leave and lock up so we're not disturbed. This won't take long, right?" She nodded silent. I told the secretary she could go. The second I hung up the phone, the woman spoke, no hesitation. "Doctor, I just need you to tell me one thing." Her voice was tight, urgent. "I need you to tell me I'm not crazy." That's it. The words came so fast I froze for a second. "Madam," I said carefully, "I can't really say that without understanding what's going on. You'll have to tell me what happened first." She raised a hand like she was afraid I'd cut her off. "No, please, just listen. Don't judge me. I don't need you to treat me, I just need one word from you, confirmation that I'm not insane." Her voice trembled not from weakness but from exhaustion. It was like fear, anger, and desperation had all mixed together. I leaned back and said gently, "All right. But for me to know whether you're sane or not, I need to know why you're asking. So start from the beginning." She stared at me for a long moment, then sighed. "Fine. But I need you to promise something, just listen. Don't interrupt. It's hard enough to say this once, and if I lose track, I might not be able to go back." I raised my eyebrows, nodded, and folded my hands under my chin. She leaned back in the chair, set her purse beside her, and began. "My name's Nikki," she began. I was 23 back, then finishing up my last semester in college. My whole mind was wrapped around grades, exams, getting that diploma. I wasn't thinking about love or any of that stuff. But you stick a bunch of 20-somethings in the same building for months, and it's kinda impossible not to notice somebody. She smiled for half a second, not out of happiness, more like a reflex. "His name was Kevin," she said. "He wasn't like the other guys. I don't even know what exactly drew me to him. Maybe because he was quiet. When everyone else was cracking jokes and showing off, he just sat there smiling faintly, watching them, like he was observing a bunch of kids on a playground." A week or two later, she said, they got assigned to the same group project. After that, we had to talk more. He barely said a word most of the time, but when he did, you wanted to listen. One afternoon while we were working, the conversation drifted to ghosts, energy, the afterlife, stuff like that. And suddenly this quiet guy just lit up, started talking about spirits and dreams and things I didn't even believe in. I remember thinking, God, this dude's probably nuts. But I don't know why, maybe because he was different, I kept listening. And the more I listened, the deeper I got pulled in. She looked down at her hands as she spoke, twisting her wedding ring. We started spending more time together. At first it was just at school, then we'd talk on the phone. And sometimes when I could, we'd meet outside. It went on like that for almost 2 years. Most of what we did was talk. He'd tell me about books. He read the weird dreams. He had theories about unseen worlds. Half the time I was bored out of my mind, but I couldn't walk away. I was hooked. She gave a faint, tired laugh. Life, though, life doesn't care about what your heart wants. I graduated and suddenly every aunt, cousin, and friend had some guy they wanted to set me up with. One after another, I turned them all down. I couldn't even imagine being with anyone but Kevin. Then one day, out of nowhere, this rich family showed up. Like old money rich, won't half the town, kind of rich. The guy's mom had seen me somewhere and apparently decided I was perfect for her son. They started asking around, and soon my parents were all over it. My dad couldn't stop smiling. My mom said things like, "Honey, chances like this come once in a lifetime." She looked at me, then her eyes sharp but wet. At first I said no. I told them I already had someone, Kevin. But then it hit me. He'd never actually said he loved me. Not once. Not even hinted he wanted a future with me. So one day I sat across from him and said, "There's a guy who wants to marry me." He looked at me calm as ever and said, "That's good. I'm happy for you." I said, "He's a good guy. Comes from a great family." And he just nodded. Said, "If you think it's better for you, then do it." Her voice cracked then just a little. That night I cried my eyes out. Not because he said the wrong thing, but because I finally realized I was the only one holding that relationship together. She took a deep breath, her fingers trembling now. So I married the rich guy. He was kind, polite, generous, everything you could ask for. We had a good life, 2 beautiful kids, a nice house, and over time Kevin just faded, like he'd never even existed. She stared past me for a long second. Except once. Years later I heard from an old classmate that he never finished college. Just vanished one day. No one ever saw him again. Her voice dropped lower. Life went on. Until about 2 years ago, that morning changed everything. It was just a normal morning, she said quietly, eyes fixed on some invisible point on the floor. I'd gone to the gym, came home all sweaty and tired, and figured I'd swing by my regular coffee shop before heading back. You know the type, small, tucked away on a quiet street, the kind of place where the same people show up every morning without even talking about it. She smiled, faintly remembering. I ordered my usual black coffee, grabbed a window seat, leaned back, and scrolled through my phone. Everything felt calm, normal. Then, out of nowhere, my stomach twisted, that weird gut feeling you get when something's off, but you can't say why. I looked up and froze. Right across from me, a man was sitting at the next table, half in the shadow from the big window behind him. I couldn't see his face clearly at first, but I knew. My heart just stopped. It was Kevin. Older, sure, a little gray in his hair, a few lines around his eyes. But that same stillness, that same heavy, unreadable look. It hit me like a train. My chest actually hurt. She took a shaky breath, like she could still feel it. He had a book in his hands, totally lost in it. For a second I thought maybe I should just leave, pretend I didn't see him. But before I knew it, I was already standing, walking right toward him. And God, I wish I hadn't. Her voice went cold. When I got to the table, he lifted his head, met my eyes, and smiled. Just that same faint, quiet smile. "Hey, Nikki," he said like no time had passed. I sat down. My hands were shaking, but I tried to play it cool. We talked small talk, catching up. I told him I was married, had 2 kids. He said he was still single, still living alone. Didn't really work much, just read, studied, did his own thing. On the surface it was normal, but under it something was wrong. You could feel it, the air around him felt thick, heavy. Like the room itself was holding its breath. She leaned forward slightly. Then, as he was setting his cup down, he said, "By the way, Nikki, we've been doing these energy healing sessions lately. You should come sometime. They really help clear your mind. You'd love it." I didn't know what to say. I wasn't scared exactly, just uneasy. Like there was more to it than what he was saying. But I also didn't want to make things weird, or let my husband find out I was even talking to Kevin again. So I gave him my other number, the one on my spare SAM card. The one my husband didn't know about. Then I went home and got caught up in the usual chaos kids' chores work. After a few days, I almost forgot the whole thing. Honestly, it felt like that coffee shop meeting had just been a dream. She took a long pause. Until a few nights later, the house was loud kids running around, my husband watching TV. I was trying to get some work done. And suddenly my other phone started buzzing. Unknown number. I knew it was him. My heart just dropped. I couldn't answer with my husband there, so I silenced it and let it ring out. A few seconds later, a text came through. It said, "I know you can't talk right now. Just wanted to tell you the session's tomorrow night. If you want to come, I'll send the address." I swear to God, I hadn't said a word to him about my husband or that I couldn't talk freely. Somehow he knew. That's when the fear started creeping in. She ran her fingers through her hair, voice shaking now. I told myself, don't go. He's weird, this is weird, let it go. But the day of the session came, and I don't even know why, but something in me kept whispering, go. Maybe it was boredom, maybe curiosity, maybe something darker. I got dressed, nothing fancy. No makeup, just jeans and a sweater, and I drove to the address he texted me. She stopped there, breathing slowly, like even remembering it took effort. The sun was just setting when I got there, she continued. It was a quiet neighborhood, too quiet. The house was an old-looking place, not rundown, not modern, either just wrong somehow. I walked up, rang the bell. Kevin opened the door himself, same faint smile. "Hey, Nikki," he said. "Come on in. We've been waiting for you." When I stepped inside, Nikki said, "The smell hit me first. It wasn't incense, it was something harsher, heavy. The kind of smell that makes your head feel thick, like your brain's wrapped in cotton." The place was dim, just a few yellow lamps hanging in corners. The floor was covered in old woven rugs, like the kind you'd find in some thrift shop that hasn't dusted in decades. And underneath the smell of smoke, I could swear there was something else, the faint scent of metal or blood. I heard voices too. Not talking, not really, more like whispers, but when I turned to listen, everyone was silent. She rubbed her arms as she spoke, remembering the chill. Kevin led me to the living room. There were maybe 6 or 7 people sitting around, men and women, different ages. None of them looked at me. One woman had her eyes closed, mumbling under her breath. A guy beside her was spinning a ring around his finger over and over. The air felt thick with something I couldn't name. Kevin said quietly, "Sit down, Nikki. It's about to start. Don't be afraid, just follow along." So I sat. My whole body was trembling, but I didn't want to show it. Then this older woman walked in. Tall, long gray hair, dressed all in black. Her eyes were dark, too dark, like no whites at all. And the second she looked at me, I swear I felt stripped bare. Like she could see every lie, every secret, every ugly thing I'd ever done. And Nikki swallowed hard. She started speaking, but it wasn't English. It wasn't any language I knew. Her voice was deep, steady, like she was chanting something old. Nobody else made a sound. Then one of the others brought in a tray, an old silver tray with weird objects on it. A small black bottle filled with something thick, a feather looked like from a crow, a few candles, and what I swear were bones. The old woman picked them up one by one, sniffed them, muttered something under her breath, and set them back down. Then she went to one of the men, took his hand, and started chanting again. That guy began shaking, not like trembling, like he'd been electrocuted. His whole body jerked, and suddenly he screamed and collapsed to the floor. Everyone went dead silent. The woman leaned down, whispered something in his ear, and just like that he stood up again. Calm, blank. Like whatever was in him was gone. He walked back to his seat and didn't blink. didn't move, just stared at the wall. Aniki's voice dropped to almost a whisper. My heart was hammering in my throat. I wanted to run, but Kevin leaned over and whispered, "It's okay, Nikki. This is normal. She's just removing negative energy. You'll feel better afterward." After that, it went one by one, people crying, shouting, passing out. And then she turned to me. "Your turn," she said. Niki's hands were shaking now as she told it. I tried to say no, but I couldn't. My legs just moved, like something was pulling me forward. She handed me a small bottle, that same black liquid. "Breathe," she said. "Don't be afraid." She uncorked it, and this dark smoke drifted out. It smelled wrong, sweet, rotten, and heavy all at once. "Close your eyes," she said again. So I did, and the moment I breathed in, it felt like the floor dropped out from under me. I wasn't in that room anymore. I was floating. My body was gone. There was this warmth spreading through me, like being swallowed by light, but underneath it a cold so deep it burned. I heard whispers, laughter, crying voices, all tangled together. Some sounded like me, then just silence. When I opened my eyes again, the old woman was smiling. "See," she said softly, "that wasn't so bad. You're free now." Kevin was standing behind her, watching me with that same quiet smile. And I don't know how to explain it, doctor, but for the first time in years, I felt light. Empty, but in a good way, like something heavy had been peeled off me. When the session ended, I said goodbye and stepped outside. The sky was dark, but I wasn't afraid. My steps felt lighter than air. I actually thought maybe it worked. She gave a bitter little laugh. God, I was so wrong. At first, Nikki said, I really believed those sessions were helping me. Every week they held another one, and I was always the first to show up. I can't explain it. It was like I'd become addicted. After each session, I'd feel lighter, calmer, even happy. I was sleeping better. My husband even said I seemed like a new person. But then came the night everything changed. She took a breath, her voice trembling now. It was a regular session, same people, same house, same smell of smoke in the air. Only this time they'd drawn a white circle on the floor, a big one. Kevin walked in and sat down right in the center of it. He took off his shirt. And I saw God, doctor. I saw that his whole body was covered in tattoos, strange symbols, words. I didn't recognize lines that twisted and crossed like something alive. He sat cross-legged, eyes closed. The old woman came up behind him, put her hand on his head, and started that same chant. After a few seconds, Kevin's body jerked, like something had taken hold of him. His eyes snapped open, and they weren't his eyes anymore. They were red. Not bloodshot red like glowing coals, and he was staring straight at me. She shuddered so violently I thought she might start crying, but she didn't. Her voice dropped to a whisper. For a minute I couldn't move. It was like those eyes pinned me in place. Then he shut them again and everything went quiet. When the session ended, I didn't wait to say goodbye. I ran out of there straight home. But the smell, that same sweet, bitter smoke, it followed me. I swear I could smell it in my car, in my hair, in my clothes. That night everything changed. Nikki gripped the edge of her chair, knuckles white. When I got home, I still felt him. Like Kevin was there. Like he'd brought something back with him, or worse, put something inside me. For days after that, I couldn't tell what was real. I'd hear breathing behind me when I was alone. I'd turn around, nothing. But I could feel it, warm air against my neck. Sometimes I'd walk through the house and swear someone was right behind me, matching my steps. When I turned, no one was there, but I'd still hear the footsteps. At night I'd dream of my kids, but their faces were wrong. Like their skin was melted, torn. They'd smile at me with no lips, and I'd scream, but no sound came out. I'd wake up gasping, soaked in sweat. But it never felt like I'd left the nightmare, because even awake I could hear it whispering, laughing, breathing. She swallowed hard, her voice barely above a whisper. I told myself it was stress, exhaustion, anything. But it kept getting worse. Once in the kitchen, I heard footsteps behind me, slow, heavy. I turned and there was nothing. But a second later, I heard whispering right next to my ear. A man's voice, Kevin's voice, saying my name. Her eyes darted toward the dark corner of the office. Another time I was in my car at night, waiting for the garage door to open. And in the reflection of the windshield, just for a second I saw a shape standing beside me. Long legs twisted backward, and those same red eyes. She covered her face with both hands shaking. I called Kevin the next morning, screaming at him. Told him I couldn't take it anymore, that he'd done something to me. You know what he said? He said, "You're not cleansed yet. You still have to purge what's left inside you." When I asked what the hell that meant, he said, "You have to be with me. Physically. That's how the last of it leaves you." I hung up on him. I cursed him out, blocked his number, threw my phone across the room. But it didn't matter, because by then I could already feel myself slipping. I tried to fight it, Nikki said. I really did. I ignored his messages, deleted his number, even thought about changing phones altogether. But the dreams kept coming. Every night I'd wake up with that smell in my room, that same heavy, sweet, rotten scent. Sometimes I'd see movement in the dark just at the edge of my vision. After a few days I broke. I texted him, just one word, "Okay." He replied almost instantly. "Tonight, 9 p.m., same house." When I pulled up to the place, the street was dead quiet. No lights on anywhere. Not even crickets. Kevin opened the door before I could knock, like he'd been standing there waiting. "Come in," he said. His smile was wrong this time. It didn't reach his eyes. The house looked different too, darker. The windows were covered with black cloth, and there were candles everywhere, thick red ones dripping wax down onto the floor. That smell again, heavier than ever, like burned sugar, and something dead underneath it. In the center of the room was a table, small, wooden, covered in papers filled with strange drawings. Circles, eyes, symbols I couldn't make sense of. There were bones laid out next to them. Real ones. And a white powder ring on the floor, bigger than before. Kevin said, "Take off your clothes and step into the circle." I told him no. He didn't argue. He just looked at me, and something in his eyes made me obey. Like I wasn't even in control anymore. He took off his own clothes too. And that's when I saw them clearly, the tattoos. They covered every inch of his skin. They weren't just ink. They moved. There was one right over his chest, a huge open eye, and I swear to God it blinked. She pressed her hands together to keep them from shaking. I wanted to run. I wanted to scream. But when he stepped inside the circle with me, the air changed. The candles flickered, the floor started to hum. I could feel it vibrating under my feet. Then Kevin put his hands on my shoulders and whispered something. Not English, not any language I'd ever heard. The shadows on the walls began to twist like they were alive. They started circling us. I could see faces in them. Dozens of faces, stretched and screaming. And then something stepped out of one. It looked human but wasn't. Its legs were bent backward, its skin gray and cracked like old clay. Its head was turned the wrong way, completely backward, but it was smiling. It stood there watching us. Kevin didn't stop. He kept whispering, his voice getting louder, faster. The air grew hot. The walls started to breathe. Then I heard it, a shriek. High, piercing, coming from inside the walls. It wasn't one voice. It was dozens, maybe hundreds. All screaming together. I think I passed out. She went quiet for a moment, staring past me like she was back there again. When I woke up, she whispered. Everything was gone. The candles, the table, the drawings, the circle, all of it. The house was empty. I was lying naked on the cold floor, completely alone. I don't know how long I lay there before I found my clothes and ran out. But from that night on, nothing was ever the same. When I got home that night, Nikki said, I thought maybe I'd finally wake up and realize it was all a nightmare. But the nightmare came with me. At first it was little things. A whisper when the house was empty. A flicker in the mirror behind me. That smell again, burnt sweetness hanging in the hallway, even with every window open. Then it got worse. One morning I was brushing my teeth. The mirror was fogged from the shower, so I wiped it clear, and there she was, behind me. A woman, or what was left of one's skin, the color of ash face, pressed against the glass. She was smiling. Her teeth were long, jagged, cracked. I spun around, but there was nothing there. That was the first time I screamed. After that, it happened everywhere. Sometimes I'd hear a lullaby coming from my kid's room after midnight. Soft, creaky voice, old woman soft, but when I opened the door, my kids were sound asleep, and the singing stopped. Sometimes when I walked down the hall, I'd feel a hand brush the back of my neck. Cold, thin, too long. One night I went to close the faucet and a hand came out from under the door, gray, bony fingers, too long, nails black and broken. It wrapped around my ankle before vanishing like smoke. I stopped sleeping after that. During the day, it wasn't much better. I'd be driving, and in the rearview mirror, I'd see something sitting in the back seat, its head turned backward watching me. And when I blinked, it'd be gone, but I could still feel its stare on the back of my neck. I started seeing Kevin too, or at least something that looked like him. Sometimes I'd catch him standing across the street, just outside the light, smiling that same quiet smile. Sometimes I'd smell that same awful perfume he used to wear, even when I was miles from anywhere. A few nights ago, I took my kids to the park. They were playing, laughing, and I looked up into the trees, and there it was again. Something crouched on a branch body, twisted head upside down, watching me. Its eyes were red, just like his. And then it dropped, straight down, vanished before it hit the ground. She rubbed her temples, her voice cracking. "Doctor, I know how this sounds, but it's not in my head. I can feel them in the room, in the dark, in the mirrors. Even right now, I swear there's something standing behind me." She turned slightly, eyes flicking toward the corner of my office, like she was expecting something to move. "I tried calling Kevin again," she said finally. "Every number I had, his phone's dead. No social media, no messages, nothing. It's like he never existed. But the things he brought with him didn't leave. They're still here, following me. I don't even go near the bathroom mirror anymore. I don't sleep. I can't even breathe without feeling something breathing with me. Tell me, doctor." She looked straight at me, then eyes wide and wet. Am I losing my mind, or did I really let something in? I sat there for a while just looking at her. The air in my office felt heavier than usual, thick, like the walls were holding their breath. Nikki's eyes were wide, waiting for something, an answer, a verdict, maybe some kind of mercy. I finally cleared my throat. "All right," I said gently. "Let's take this one step at a time." She didn't move. "You said everything started after that night," I went on. "So first, I want you to get a full neurological and psychological evaluation. We'll run a few tests, things like the MMPI ink blot tests, maybe a brain scan. I need to figure out if what you're seeing has a medical cause or a psychological one. Because right now I can't draw a line between hallucination and reality." She nodded slowly, almost like she wasn't really hearing me, just staring, waiting for one specific sentence. I sighed. "Nikki, I'm not saying you're crazy. I'm saying we need to understand what's happening." She blinked, and for the first time in the whole session, a flicker of hope crossed her face. Her lips trembled into something like a smile. "Okay," she whispered. Just tell me it'll stop. Tell me these things will go away." I didn't answer right away, because no doctor in the world can promise that. But I couldn't look at those eyes, that quiet, breaking hope, and say nothing, so I nodded once. "Yes," I said softly. "They'll stop." She let out a shaky laugh, half relief, half disbelief. "Thank you," she said. "You don't know how much that means." She stood up, grabbed her purse with trembling hands, and headed for the door. I walked her out, watched her step into her car, start the engine, and drive off down the dark street. When I went back to my desk, I checked the clock. Just past 10. I stood by the window for a moment, pulling the blinds open. Outside, the street was empty. I looked down, watching the taillights fade into the distance, and then something caught my eye. For just a split second, in the reflection of the glass, I saw movement. A shape, tall, still, standing in the corner of my office. When I turned around, there was nothing. Just the smell, that faint bittersweetness, hanging in the air.